So week 6 of the van build. The state of the van's pretty sorry at the moment. It's not really looking like I'm making any progress. I've spent a fair bit of time trying to build this cupboard down this side here, but before I can go any further I need to get all the electrics in, so that a lot of the electrics fit underneath that cupboard. The cupboard itself, it's lying on its side at the moment, but this has taken me like 2 days to get to this stage, and you can see there's some wacky cuts going on here along the edges where it has to find its way around various parts of the van. So that's been extremely time consuming, and it looks like a bomb's hit this place. Everything's just a complete mess. Anyway, push on, see if I can turn things around, make a bit more progress this week, because I really feel like last week I did nothing. Although when I look back on my video, I actually did quite a bit, but wow, it took a long time. Some of this monster cable fed through. This is for my the power from the solar panels. So everywhere I've got a bit of conduit going past the piece of sheet metal, I'm using this little stuff here. It's pinch weld, just really small stuff. It's meant to go onto 1 to 2 millimeter metal. Just putting that over the sharp edge of the metal, just to give the conduit somewhere to sit on. Now even this stuff, if that's rubbing on sheet metal, that's just going to cut through, and it's going through pretty quickly. There's a few spots where I've had it rubbing from just me pushing wires through, and you can see that it's damaged the outside of the conduit already. About 4 different wires here that I need to send over to the opposite side of the van. I probably should suck a string through there and pull it through a bit of string, but yeah, I'm going to be an idiot and try without first. There we go. I was going to put the inverter just down here under the wardrobe cupboard, but worried about heat. It's a bit of a confined space, so with that and the solar and the battery down there, I'm a bit concerned that it's going to get a little bit hot. So what I'm going to do is now mount the inverter by itself right down the back corner. It'll be down in the garage storage area right next to my bikes. Just putting a little board on the wall here where the charger will sit. Solar charger goes on here. Well, I got to the point where I'm thinking I'm going to pull out all this wiring and start again. My original plan was to put a fuse box up here, have my solar breaker up here as well, but it's just getting difficult at the moment. I can't fit any more cables through this part of the van here, and I've got all these here that need to go through. By legislation they have to be in a conduit, and I can't get it through there, so this will kind of solve that problem, I think. This is the end result of last night's efforts. So basically torn out all the wiring that I had done and started again, and got the fuse box mounted down here along with the solar charger. I forgot to run a wire for one of my lights, for the bathroom lights, so I need to just undo one of my connections I've already done. Here goes. Jeez, that's a big piece of wire. Oh, crikey. Oh, finally. Bloody hell. Just got to make up a board to hold the inverter. Inverter mounted there. Little box that'll have the safety switch and the circuit breaker in it for the 240 volt stuff. Battery is over there, so I'm just going to measure that up for some heavy duty cables to run that meter or so. So Wednesday lunchtime. Spent a little bit of time this morning just tidying up a little bit of the electrical stuff, so I've made the extra little bracket to hold the battery in place there. So now I've got the big cables all set up ready to run down to the inverter. Well, not ready to, they are running down to the inverter. Just need to do a little bit of tidy up work with you know, some clips to hold that in place. Majority of the 12 volt stuff's done now, except for the, or at least the input side, so all of the fuse box side and distribution of the 12 volt is done. Still remaining is running the switches, and so here's a big pile of wires on the floor there, which have to go up to the switches for the lights. And then here we have the wires that run to the outlet of lights, and of course the big solar wire there. But now I can move on with this cupboard, so I need to get this cupboard built and then get the rest of this stuff in. So just doing a little bit of tidy up work on the wardrobe cupboard now. If you can look at it sideways, which is the way it goes. This one needs an access hole there so I can get into the battery, at least get to the terminals relatively easily. So I've just made that, and also cut off the extra bit I had here. This was going down to the floor on the front of the cupboard there, but it's just going to be too hard to manage. Plus I need that to be accessed now into the fuse box, so that'll become a door. So a bit more work to do on the wardrobe. Hopefully I can get that sorted out today, and it won't be sorted out today. It's going to take another 3 days. Thursday morning, birds are chirping, sun shining. Temporarily, it's supposed to pour down and rain today. Last couple of days have been flat out on getting this wardrobe cupboard sorted out. Yeah, a couple of days basically. I did have a couple of days to do the wiring, as I've already discussed. As always, everything takes a ridiculous amount of time, and the worst part has been just getting all these shapes right. And yeah, this is kind of the curse of having a diagonal cupboard set up here, that you probably can't really see it on the video, but there's nothing square here. Everything's on an angle. You might be able to see how things sort of flare out and taper towards the back. So the aisleway is not straight. And as a result, the cupboards are all on angles as well. And then on top of that, we had all this profile cutting to get up around the edge of the van there. And that didn't just stop there, because every shelf has a little curve in the back corner there. Yeah, another curse of trying to maximise my usage of space. You know, I get myself an extra 70mm of shelf space there. It's going to make all the difference in the world, but I wanted to do it, and that's why I'm building it this way. That's why I haven't gone to the usual process of just lining the entire inside, flat boarding the walls, and then chucking in square cabinets. And that's an epic fail. Nice. But that is supposed to line up with those holes there. I'm an idiot and I've done it completely wrong. Need to remake it. So the brilliant idea of having a bracket on the back of the fridge here, so I've got that bolted on there, no problems. Put some riv nuts into the frame of the fridge, bolted that through, drilled one hole here. Second hole is way down in the back corner there, so it's a little bit of a challenge to get to, so I've just marked it, pulled it out, done a bit of a pilot hole. I've got to put them that far apart, because if you look under there, you can see I've got a couple of bits of box section running underneath, so the idea is to bolt that down through that aluminium. So basically got two little pilot holes in there now, so one about here and one, oh, where is it, over there somewhere. So now I've got to take the entire wardrobe out so I can put riv nuts into the aluminium underneath the wardrobe, and then drill these holes out, and then when this comes back in I can bolt straight through into the riv nuts. I don't like making it easy for myself. Oh, there we go, and there's the top bracket. Friday morning, but only just. It's 11 o'clock. Just been out to pick up some more plywood. Yes, the fridge space is done. Shelf there for the microwave. Just need to finish off the side. Got the top already cut. Put that in a minute. We're about to pull the whole thing out of the van so that we can then finish it off inside the garage. Alright, Saturday morning. The plan is to try and get this ready so I can start staining and all that sort of business. Going to fit the microwave, not sort of fit it, but just make up bracketry and things just to hold that in place. So this is just a trim, it's not actually holding the microwave in there. Now, because I've put this in here to keep the microwave located and all this sort of business, it won't fit in underneath these brackets, which need to be that low so they clamp down on top of it enough. This is becoming a bit of a nightmare and taking a lot of time. So I'm going to pull these out for about the 10th time now. I think what I've got to do is get the microwave in and then screw these into the side. There we go, that's how it's going to work. If you need to get the microwave out, you just take out those two little cap screws there. And unfortunately, you also have to take that bracket off the side. It's not actually bolted in there at the moment anyway. Sunday is absolutely pouring down. So the cupboard's pretty much done-ish. Still got to get the back on it, but the problem is to get the back on I need to get it into the van and do a whole bunch of trial fitments. That's why it's taken so long. That keeps me a little bit dry. We've cut the back section for the bottom there. You can see the wacky curve in the corner. So then I've just got to deal with this top one here, which is what I've got down here. This has taken a couple of hours to cut these little bits of wood. It's probably a little bit tight. So just put in a bit of 18mm pine across there, got a whole stack of holes in there. We'll have some countersunk set screws in there, and they go through to the aluminium bar which runs across the back. Lower mounts, there's about 20 bolts through the base, the back there as well. The reason for doing so many bolts in there is not because of the strength of the bolts, it's the strength of the wood. You're trying to hold wood into steel, and wood's not all that strong, so basically the best thing you can do is sort of distribute the load out across multiple bolts, and that way you end up with a greater surface area of bolting and higher strength. Finish off the cabinet, getting all the sanding done, ready for starting to stain and seal it all up tomorrow. As you might be able to see by the colour of my once black top. Anyway, that's enough for today. Sunday's over. Starting again on Monday.